I'm gonna shuffle the score a few times. Looks like everyone's changing. Okay. Ready, guys? Hey. All right.
Far out, man.
Should have timed that. No, it was probably close to 15 minutes, maybe a little over. Nick, do we need to lock it in at 15, or is it okay if it's like 16 or 17?
A little bit over is fine.
Cool. Well, then I guess we'll just leave it. Let me get some water.
I had
I unfortunately have to go.
I heard nothing.
Tony said, unfortunately, he has to go.
Oh yeah, he said he's got to leave.
Yeah. Well,
Do we need to tell it anything? I had nothing. I understood your thing, Tony. I think, although at the end your light was still on, but there was obviously no sound. Did you just master fade it out?
I individually faded it out.
Okay, so that was why. Okay. Because I was paying attention to when your light was on and made changes, although obviously I couldn't hear. I didn't know what my impact would be. I just knew I was making a change, which is fine.
Yeah, and I'll think about some stuff, because if it hasn't been toggled on or off, then your impact isn't doing anything until it becomes toggled on.
Oh, I see, yeah.
So there are some times where I jumped in and started the loop because I saw you making changes.
Because you saw we were making changes and Eric hadn't started it.
Yeah. So if that's okay, I can do that. I can see you're making changes. I can jump in and get it started so they can.
I mean, you could do that. The other thing you could do is you could make it so that if Eric doesn't toggle, the signal status light is gated, so at least I'll never see that it's on.
Right.
So you could do it that way, where he controls the gate for the status light, and then I would never move without it being possible to make an impact.
I can do that. I can have that unless it's playing. Nothing's
Just have the
in.
status light off. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I mean, you could do it either way, but I just want to say, depending on how you want to think of it, I think me wasting my time moving something that has no impact is annoying. But
right, sure, yeah.
you could easily just have it be that Eric. I mean, Eric also has to know. The weird thing about it is that Eric, if he doesn't have a control patch up, and at the end of his last control he turned it off, and then he has 3 rounds of sound, then basically it means your control is off limits to me. So I do think that that's kind of a negative. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if he happens to leave it off and then he has sound for the next 5 minutes, then that basically means no one can control your patch.
Well, what I can do is I can control the playing of the looper, so I can control when it's playing, and Eric can control the overdub. Like I can separate those 2 controls.
Oh, sure, that makes sense.
So he can control when it starts to record, and I can control when it actually plays and stops.
Yeah, I think as long as there's some way that if he happens to leave it in the off status, it doesn't impact Nick's or my ability to have an impact on your sound in some way. I think basically it should be that when it's a control time, like especially if I go to control and the only person making sound, you'll say it's you and Nick are the only people making sound, or Eric and Nick are making sound, or whomever. I need to, like, if one of those 2 people is off limits to me, then there's not a lot of, then you're kind of stuck. Right. It was fun being able to, like, because I could move in and say, oh, Eric's doing something right now, I'm going to go mess with him. Oh, Nick is available and I can hear what's happening there. I'm going to go back and forth depending on what I'm interested in. That was interesting when I had those kinds of moments. So I think it'd be cool if somehow everybody's patch is adjustable in a way that's clear. I think your idea makes sense as long as Eric isn't in charge of me making it make sound.
Right, yeah. I'll look at that tonight and see if maybe I should add some other elements in there so that the loop isn't playing. I wanted to be able to control the loop on and off, otherwise I was afraid you could just stay on constantly.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So I'll see if I can add some other audio effects in there, so if the loop is off, you and Nick are at least controlling things that aren't.
You could give us all control of it, whether it's on or off. So that somehow like all of our toggles could turn it on or off. It's possible we would both try to, like multiple people would try to turn it on simultaneously and start fighting. But it seems like there should be a way to filter that out so that if it's, you can automatically make sure it's on. Like if I want to turn it on, I can turn it on.
Yeah, let me try that and see if I can get multiple toggles in.
I have all my controls available locally too. So,
Mhm.
like one thing I did today was at some point I realized, boy, my pitch shift has been stuck on for a long time. And I think Jeff at the time you were making sound, so you wouldn't. It's not like you were actively doing anything with it. So I turned it off because I was like, all right, let's get some dry guitar sound in here. You
Yeah.
know, just like
Yeah.
making
And I can control
decisions
mine.
that made sense in the performance.
Yeah, I can jump in and control mine too, which is what I've noticed. I want to be able to do that right, just in case the looper's running constantly or
Mm-hmm.
it's stuck playing backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll divide that up and I'll update my signal patch.
Cool.
Or the document.
Any other quick thoughts for the collective?
I got two. One is a couple. I'm not sure who it is, but a couple people are coming in real hot.
That was me. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, the thing just went to insane loudness. I don't know if it was something in the Moog was getting stuck, or if one of my I have a feeling it might have been the Capistan. All of a sudden, just freaked out. I don't know, but all of a sudden, I wasn't touching it, and it was like, whoosh, it went to, and it happened twice.
I wasn't sure if I did something because I moved one dial. I think it was a dial going towards. It was going to Jeff. Like I turned my control value up, and I heard this really loud sound, and so I went back and dialed it back again. I don't know if that affected it or not.
What do you have control over in my patch?
I can't remember what you wrote down.
Do you have the spreader?
Isn't the spreader Nick, or is that? Yeah.
Nick has the looper.
Then it must be the spreader.
Maybe it's that. Maybe it was you adjusting my spreader that got whacked out.
I was at absolute maximum on that.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. Let me dial the maximum down so it doesn't. I'll play with the spreader a little bit and see if that's the issue, and I'll make sure that it avoids that if that's the issue.
And then I may have come in hot on one of those moments because I'm randomizing with each new section the settings on my FM synth. But I should make the volume at a certain level. It shouldn't get too loud when randomizing.
I could tell my thing got super loud because all of a sudden in my looper where I can see my sound, it was like max, and I'm like, what just happened? And it happened
might have
twice,
been
but I think that must be it. That makes more sense than it's a problem in the Moog because that seems very unlikely in the Moog.
There was one time my looper got stuck on really hot, and I just turned it down a little because I was like, that can't stay like that. I need to turn it down.
Yeah.
And I also have a limiter on my max output, so I think that would help if everyone just has a limiter on their max output before it goes to OBS.
Okay.
So
I mean,
right
it might
before
distort, but
the
at least then it won't clip
Just right before
digitally.
the DAC, you mean?
Yep. I actually use tan H because it adds a little like distortion in a nice way if it does overload. But
Can H is the name of a
tan,
plugin or something?
TAN, like tangent, TANH tilde.
Oh, Tan H, got it.
Mhm. It's like supposed to be it's not meant for it, but it's kind of an analog modeling limiter in a way because it helps round off, like it doesn't clip it hard. Anyway, limiters I think on patches would be good.
Okay.
The other thing is just we could leave more space, especially if we're gonna have this drone in here, which I think I kind of liked it.
Yeah, it was noisy.
I like the drone. I think we could leave more space. I just, like I said, I think I texted, I just have some LFOs changing the parameters all at different rates very, very slowly, just so it would evolve over time. I think there's like 5 or 6 parameters, so those could be things that the audience controls. But I also rode that a little bit too. There were a few times where I was kind of like, all right, well, it's a little loud, so.
That was poorly done, Anna. You got to come up from the bottom. Then it's a nice surprise, and it's massive. See, look. See, that's much more exciting. I'll leave you to the ghostly pictures. That was I love that picture. I'd forgotten it. That was like 10 years ago. Yes, well done, Eric.
Hey, look, the sunrise.
Oh, that makes sense. Well done. Cool. Yeah, I agree with the comment about space. That was. I think it was also. I felt like I had way more sound patches today than control for some reason. Like way more. I had like two. I had 2 control patches in the whole day. And it did seem like there was a lot of noise.
I did really like having the first 3 come back. Like I totally did the same stuff when they came back.
Yeah,
it
that's
sounded
good.
very different because of
I
a
tried
lot
to
of
do
the
it.
patch had changed, but it was nice to.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first 3 in reverse, so it's like 1, 2, 3 at the beginning, and then 3, 2, 1 at the end.
Yeah.
I think that's what I
worked.
was supposed to do.
What's the next time? So we're meeting the Friday is the show. We're obviously meeting before then. Are you driving back, Tony? Is that happening?
Saturday and Sunday. So Monday is the next time.
You gotta talk right into this thing.
I mean, it'd be nice. In some ways, we've got a looking at next Friday. I assume the premise is we log in and get everything ready, and then it's like when it's our turn, we just quickly make it live. Is that sort of how that works?
Wasn't totally clear from what I read, and dude, there were people hogging that stream today. Like some dude literally just had his webcam on and sat there for like an hour. So I
What
haven't been
stream are
able
you
to test
talking
it.
about?
There's a test stream window.
Oh,
And so
okay.
they've got their settings, and I kept trying to try them out today, and I couldn't because, yeah. Anyway, Nick, did
It's
you have?
nice that we are the first one in the concert, so that we won't have to really worry too much about someone.
Oh, I
Dope.
see.
Like a concert running long or less. But there is like in the details, there's a back channel that we need to make contact with the producers like 15 minutes before the concert. I think it's a video stream. We'll chat with them, tell them that we're 100% ready to go, and then Eric will hit go when it's our turn to go. When we're finished, we'll all each jump on a link for this voice chat, video chat type of system, so that we can talk about the piece, and that'll be like 10-15 minutes.
Okay. What do we need to do to make sure that anyone out there can futz with the drone?
We'll give Eric a link for the audience control, and he'll be able to throw that up on the OBS stream briefly right before we start.
And then anyone who wants to do it, will they have to make a little Max patch and join Collab-Hub and all that stuff?
It'll be a website with buttons and sliders.
Okay, so they just go join the website and they can do their thing.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right, I gotta head out, y'all. I'll see you
Okay,
later.
see ya.
Tony.
Bye.
See y'all later.
So we'll talk about sorry, don't go. We'll talk about next meeting. Do we want to try to do Monday or Tuesday? When do you want to do it next?
Tony's gone.
Oh, he is gone. He froze.
Yep.
All right, well, we'll just send me an email. What do you
Monday or
guys want to
Tuesday
do?
is fine with me.
I'm good with either.
Yeah, same here. It doesn't matter to me. So,
Nick, did you say Tuesday? Sorry.
Either day.
Okay. We'll just do whatever works for Tony.
does
then.
daytime work for you, Nick, or is
No, I have another summer camp.
what time is good for you? You want to do night?
My summer camps end around 3:30. That's when I have my debriefing with them. So, anytime starting at 4 is good for me.
So 4 is 4. So this time today was good. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd rather do this time than night, just because it gets it done and then I don't have to like end something. So do you want to say 4 o'clock Monday or Tuesday? Either. Why don't we say either and then see what Tony wants, because since we didn't confirm with him.
That sounds good.
Is 4:30 better?
For me,
Yeah, because you said you have a debriefing at 3:30. I don't know how long that takes.
it takes a little bit, but this is going to be the second time around for my counselors, so I don't imagine it to take too long.
Okay.
I'll be ready to go.
How about we all plan to log on at 4 and make music as quickly as possible?
Great.
Are there going to be any changes before the next log on? Unless Tony changes his patch. We're done with the picker. We've got the streams. You're going to be working on the alpha channel deal or whatever with Anna,
Mhm.
but that's okay.
Is there
It would be
anything-
nice if we could. All right, go ahead.
Is there anything you would like to say to me for feedback that I can do?
Regarding the video,
No, just life.
life.
Yes,
No,
video.
not about life. About the video, perhaps, but not about life. One question I had in general was, do you want us to send controls to you?
Is it necessary to do more integrating between what I'm doing and what you guys are doing in order to... Is that going to better the piece? As of right now, I don't think that doing that in the next week is going to make things better. But I'm willing to try it if you think that the piece would really benefit from it.
I do kind of feel like I'm at my bandwidth with having 3 controls and toggles to send people, and to have a 4th is kind of like it gets to the point where it's less. I don't know. It'll be less intentional, I think, if I'm sending it to 3. But
Well, I only send to 1 at a time, or I might send to 2.
yeah,
I
I
think
guess you could just.
I mean, if it was if I was on a control patch and there were an Anna and I could potentially control Anna's video, I might control it. I don't think it matters whether I can or not, but that's all. I was just like, if I knew, for example, that I could adjust some feature, I think it would be more interesting if you do want to add in any controls. It'd be more interesting to give it to audience, because they're going to feel that, because it's, an obvious thing. I would be careful with giving them control, because it could go to suck real fast and then just turn into some blippy blops. But,
Well,
but that's
yeah,
possible.
I'm open to it, but I hesitate to implement this kind of thing if it's not intentional. So if we're gonna do it, I want to know like what we're doing it for and who's gonna like. It's not as easy to just map your control parameters to my source material. It takes some thought about what do we want to mean what.
I think because the performance is a little bit over a week out, let's hold off on this for this performance. It might be be easier for everyone all around. And I think that if I were to be trying to control Anna's thing, I wasn't watching any of her stuff when we were performing, so it would be another
that's what
thing
you
for
love to hear.
in terms of bandwidth, right? It would be thinking about what I'm hearing and then also seeing what I'm seeing as well.
It is already really hard to have however many windows open at the same time.
I have 3 windows open. What I couldn't do is I couldn't follow moment to moment what was happening in the video, but I had it as one of my windows up, and so I would look and see what was, generally speaking, going on. I mean, the interesting thing is there were these planes. There's a lot of stuff. It seemed like it was planar. Things were coming out of this direction or they're coming out of that direction. And I like the fact that there were a lot of extraordinarily skinny things in the patch or in the video. Like that was kind of cool. I thought actually the nice thing about the connection of the video was what we were doing was very clearly electronic sounding. We've got synthesizers, and Eric's guitar is the least synthetic sounding, but there's a lot of bleeps and bloops, and for some reason the video fits to that, at least in the grand scheme of things, because it seems very obviously electronic, because we're looking at, like, we weren't looking at fractals, but you're looking at, what I perceive as like digital representations on visual planes, and then they're moving and evolving in directions. So I thought that conceptually fit with what we were doing, and it was evolving. It was sort of spinning in ways that as we were spinning, we were, ours. I think the difference is that our stuff, audio-wise, is like, at least from me and Eric, is intentional moment, whereas the stuff that's happening from Nick is a bit more connected, I think, actually, to what you're doing visually, because his stuff is like cyclically moving through samples or something or whatever he's recorded. And so it kind of is following a pattern in the way that your stuff seems like it's following patterns. So I think it's actually harder for me to play stuff that connects to your screen, but I thought what you were doing connected conceptually to what we were doing overall.
Cool.
There were a few, there's movies like, I know Tron has this, I want to say Lawnmower Man probably does, but there are like movies where there are scenes where you're like swooping down over a digital landscape. There were a few times where looked at the video and I was like, fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
I know what you're talking about. I never saw Lawnmower Man, but I know what you're talking about.
I don't know if
I don't know that I ever did. I ever see? I saw Tron in the 80s. You're not talking about that Tron, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, you are. Okay.
Oh, dude, I saw that movie so many times when I was a kid.
I only saw it once. And I think I fell asleep. But I played the video game a lot. I was really good at the video game. I remember there were 4 different screens on the video game, and I used to like to guess which one you were going to get. And one time I guessed it correctly 4 times in a row, and I was very excited. I thought I was predicting the game. I mean,
The
obviously, I
original was
remember
pretty
this.
good. I never saw the 2012 or whatever year one it was.
The one with the Daft Punk score.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Yeah, I think I don't have anything else. I just want to run the piece again.
Mm-hmm.
I think we run
We
it.
should try to do 2 or 3 takes next time.
It'd be great if we could just log on to do 2 of them, call it a day, log on again, do it, again one more time or whatever, and then concert.
Hell yeah.
So let's tell Tony Monday 4:30, and then if he balks for any reason, we'll go to Tuesday, and then we'll do. Do you want to do next Thursday also 4:30? Same thing.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, cool.
Nick, I'm sorry that I can't do anything about the web interface. Do you want to just use it as it is now, and I can try to incorporate that into the drone? Like, isn't there like 3 events and 3 sliders if you go to the page now?
Yeah, I can rename the website. I mean the labels on the page. Just so for the audience, it makes little sense to them.
Okay.
Can you share that with me just so I see what it is and I can sort of semi-learn, even though I won't? I will try never to change anything.
Yeah, it's up right now. So if
Here,
you go to remote,
I'll text it to you, Jeff.
okay,
Go where?
Hang on.
Eric's about to text it to you.
I'm not sure exactly what to call the different parameters. I'll think about that. I mean, do you want to just go with the drone that I have? Do you want me to change anything about it?
I think that's fine. I think that what are audience members actually being able to control?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What are they actually being able to control? If when they move a slider, let's imagine that the 3 of us are all working the same slider. Is it gonna be like, what the hell is going on? The drone instrument?
It won't freak out. If it
Okay.
jumps around a lot, like if people are all trying to control at the same time and it keeps getting like sporadic, like values that jump around, it won't mess it up terribly.
What if they were
It
to
might
push
actually be kind of neat.
a button? What if they were to push a button?
What I was thinking, if it was a button, is that it could be an accumulator. So like they push it a bunch, the slider, there would be like, think of it as a slider on the patch side. If they push the button a bunch, the slider goes up, and then if they stop pushing it, gradually drops down. There's no like event type thing in the drone, but I could make something like that. Could just be an
I think the
impulse.
accumulator thing is like going with the idea that I was hoping for, and then it's almost like what I was thinking. So that sounds good. Like if
Oh,
it's
yeah.
able to come bring itself back down from
Yeah.
whatever it builds up to, that sounds good.
The accumulator thing, if it's coming in as web events, that would be something where they just, the more people push them, the higher the value goes, and it drops. So there would be no fighting between values. If we do use sliders, and like 10 people are trying to control the same slider, and all those values are coming in at the same time, The drone will probably just be like, it'll probably get kind of like wobbly, but it's not gonna freak out.
Yeah.
Might be kind of fun. I don't know. We could try both.
We could all have a thing where you run the drone, and then me, Nick, and Anna and Tony could log in on a couple computers each or whatever, iPads, and try to fuck with the drone.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
Is
you
that
want
worth trying?
Oh yeah, definitely. If
Maybe
you
we
just
could
wanna
do that next time around.
I think I can do that even just with it as is. Like I'll just set it up with the headers that are up there in the patch because it's pretty easy to do. And then if you want to change the headers so that they're more meaningful for the audience before Friday, we could do that after.
How
the
many
fact.
do we want?
Let me look and see how many things are actually happening because I don't know. Oops. Oh my goodness. I have 3 max patches open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 values that are changing with the LFOs. I think that's the right number. I could reduce that, but they're actually affecting 6 unique things.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of the accumulator, it has a little bit of autonomy in that it brings itself back down.
Mm-hmm.
For those other sliders, do those have a level of autonomy too? If no one touches anything, if Jeff leaves it at 100 and I leave it at 0, is it just going to be the last input and it remains?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't need me for this, so I'm gonna feed the dog. I'll see you in a few days.
Whoa. I think it might actually be Black Hole that's doing that because I had it happen to me a few times. I had to just.
Now I'm back to normal.
Did you know that you were sounding all wild, Jeff?
Yeah, I sounded weird on my end.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Black Hole needs a. It might be just when it's as an aggregate device, but Black Hole plus as an aggregate device, I've gotten that. I've had to raise the what do you call them? The buffers in Max and I have everything at 128, which is too much, but.
So we have 6 sliders. Is that what it is?
6 6 things that are mapped already from 0 to 127. Yeah.
But there's only 4 sliders on the website.
That's no problem for me. That's fine. And then how many buttons?
4 buttons.
Well,
How
no,
many
no.
buttons for air control?
There's 6 parameters, and they're all 0 to 127. So, if any of them are going to be buttons, they would just be an accumulator that builds up to 127, then drops back down.
Okay. Okay.
It doesn't really matter which one. Like they're all
Mhm.
gonna. There's nothing in the drone right now that would take just a single event as any sort of.
Gotcha.
you
Okay.
know.
That makes sense.
Weird. Oh, it's when I'm looking at when I'm looking at Chrome, it does it. But no, maybe not.
Don't stare at the machine,
No,
Jeff.
it might be.
I don't know.
You said
No,
it's when you're
maybe
looking
not.
at Chrome.
It was.
That's-
It happened both times when I was looking at the website.
Yes.
Um,
There's some weird shit about Macs, the way that they do stuff when something's in the background.
yeah, that's probably
That's
it.
totally what it is.
Okay.
Ah.
So I was just gonna ask So this is a Max patch, and you're just pulling the stuff in from the website into the Max patch.
The servers that we're all using right now, they all pull in messages that are formatted.
Oh, it's because it goes to the server.
Yeah.
Mhm.
From the web
Yeah.
page to the server into the Max patch. Same way
Got
that we're
it.
getting messages to each other,
Cool.
except not using the web page.
What do you think about also embedding the link the day of the performance of Anna's video onto the site?
That's smart. because then they can control and watch the video at the same time on the same page.
I'm not sure. What do you mean?
So, like-
Oh. So that if they are doing controls,
Yeah.
I see. Interesting. I think that's a good idea. I wonder if there's a way we could do it with the video that's actually on their website.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, you mean embed the feed that's actually going to their website in the Heroku remote
Mhm.
app page?
Yeah.
That would be sweet. Yeah, we'd have to because, well, yeah. I think that would be better than if they had that open, plus they also had a second window open that had the video, but they weren't synced because they were two different sources, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. We can do that.
Hopefully we can sort out this weird-ass fucking OBS alpha thing, because we got everything running real smooth, and then... that's
You
not
said
working,
that they
so-
have different parameters, huh?
What is different parameters?
They're ingesting parameters. It's different than how you're doing it.
Yeah. Oh, well, they had a list of, like, use this bit rate, use this resolution, all that kind of shit, and then they had a stream URL, a stream key, and then also a username and password. I haven't been able to confirm yet if I've done everything right, because every time I try it says it can't connect to the server, and then I look and it's because someone's on. I don't know. They had a backup link, a backup URL, and it connected to that, but I couldn't see anything, right? Like when I tried to stream to the backup link, OBS on my side at least confirmed that it was like running and I got the green light and all that shit. But when I tried to stream to their regular link, I've never got it to work.
Oh.
The settings that they gave us they're a little weird, but nothing. I mean, they want 25 frames per second because it's Europe, and it seems like they want us to limit to 1280. So I went ahead and did it at 1280 instead of 1920. And then they had a keyframe that you can manually adjust, like how often keyframes are sent in OBS, and they wanted it to be every 2 seconds. So that's all. Anna's actually there's a JIT NDI object she's using that goes to the stream computer, and that's great because it happens locally and it's super high quality. And then she's using an NDI virtual cam to send it to OBS Ninja for us to see. And if we get everything just right, it actually works really well. Like the problem that we were having today was that when she resizes the JIT window, it actually changes the resolution that it's sending. So if it gets too big, then it's like sending, a 2560 by whatever video to the feeds, and then it starts to cause problems. So we have to figure out if there's a way to make that independent of her having a video jitter window size that's independent of the resolution that it's sending.
Yeah.
We thought, it was weird because it seemed like that's the way it was working, but then she started resizing the window today, and it was messing up the stream. So we'll figure it out.
Cool.
All right. So
All right, peeps.
Monday
Wow.
or Tuesday, and also
Monday,
Thursday.
4:30, unless we hear from Tony that it's a problem.
Monday and Thursday.
Yep.
Nothing really to change except I need to fix the video feed, and Tony needs to do a few things in his patch, and at some point I have to incorporate the web stuff into the drone, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Yep. Well, and you got to get the website on looking the way you want.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, be well, guys.
See ya.
Bye. Oh, Nick, are you for a second?
Yeah.
You got that meeting tomorrow. Are you going to that meeting or are you not going? The esports thing.
I think I'm going.
Because I know you're in the middle of camp, so I was like, if you need me to go in your place, I can go.
Mm-hmm.
I probably wouldn't go unless you need me to go in your place.
This is the Hawk card one? Is that what you're talking
I don't
about?
know. I just know that it's on my calendar that there's a meeting tomorrow.
At 9 a.m.?
Shit, 9 a.m. No, I didn't have that.
Oh, that's a different one. I think the other one got moved.
Oh yeah, it's not there anymore. Okay.
Yep.
Are you going to survive next week, Nick?
I'm gonna.
I don't know how Nick survives in general.
Sometimes I barely survive, honestly. Like the summer camps this week is way worse than because I teach more modules than I do for the esports one. I'm more directorial in the esports one.
Yeah.
But this one, yeah, it's bad. Next
Yeah.
week is high school, but we're getting campers. It's
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
How many next week?
Right now it's 6.
Okay.
hmm It was 9 this week.
How many are in the esports thing?
There was 6. No, 5. 5.
One of them is my nephew,
Yeah. How's he doing? Gavin.
Gavin.
He flip-flopped. He signed up for one game, and then we had counselors prepare, and then
And then he changed his mind?
Yeah, he changed his mind. Yeah.
Are these campers, since you're doing it all remote, are they from around the country?
Yes. So like Gavin's in Texas.
Gavin's in Texas.
That's
yeah.
what I was wondering. I was like, I didn't think you had any local family.
Is he only doing next week, or is he doing any? Are we only doing this week, or is he doing any more?
He's only doing this one. This is the last esports camp.
It is okay.
Yeah, for game dev, our middle school one is great. We have people from high school, from Florida, New York, Louisiana, Illinois, Wisconsin.
Nice.
Cool.
It's half ladies, half dudes.
That's great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, good luck, man. I know camps are rough.
So does that mean at the end of next week you're done with all your camps?
No.
There's more game camps?
2 more game dev camps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good man.
Gotta get those kids early. Yeah.
Gotta make that cash.
Um,
Big bucks. $100 a kid. Big bucks.
most of this is going to the counselors this year.
Yeah, well, I know they're not. You're not making anything.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks. I will see you all on Monday.
Okay.
Bye,
See ya.
guys.